Good morning. I am on my cold girl walk, and I'm so very grateful to have access to the loop, the Tucson loop that goes around all of Tucson. It's just such a great resource to have right out my front door to be able to go walk. But I wanted to talk about some of the things I've struggled with, and one of them being anxiety. So in my early 20s, I struggled a lot with anxiety, and I tried many things like getting off of caffeine, because they say that caffeine can make anxiety worse. So I've tried that, and for me to stop drinking coffee or to get off caffeine was like over 2 weeks of withdrawal. And I do just enjoy my coffee. I drink black coffee, so I actually enjoy coffee and not all the other sugar additives and everything that people commonly add into it. So yeah, I've tried getting off of coffee. I tried other substances, smoking pot, drinking alcohol were my main go-tos, especially early 20s, things like that. Any type of distraction to not feel the feelings, basically, to try to numb. So fast forward to after I bought the business. It was December 2019, right before COVID hit, and I remember this very vividly because my family and I went to church for the Christmas service, and on that day I had a full-blown panic attack. And maybe this was a result of being a new business owner, and just all the stresses that come along with that. So I remember my dad brought me some medication that helped, but it left me feeling extremely cloudy. Oh, it's just a dog. The next day. So I felt like it clouded my emotions and my feelings. It was great to numb the anxiety, but I needed to really get to the source of why I was having this issue. So come around the next month, January 2020, shit hasn't popped off yet with the whole COVID thing, but there's talks of it and everything, and I discovered spin class. So I went to my first spin class, and that was a saving grace, because literally during that spin class I felt this huge weight lifted off of my chest, and it was this anxiety, and it was just a huge aha moment for me, releasing this energy that was stuck, that I was holding in, and that's when I really realized that fitness, cardio, high intense types of workout were so beneficial to helping me deal with this anxiety. And through 2020, that year was just a extremely big shift for me. Many things happened that year, like relationships ending, that I think I can't blame anybody, but I think it was a huge wake-up call for me personally, to start to set up more boundaries around me and my energy, because I, for many years, had befriended people who I sought approval from, and just never truly loved me, but I would say more or less liked having me around. I think it was kind of a codependent relationship, if you wanted to put a name to it, and it really pushed me to search for that deeper meaning, the root cause. And that summer in 2020, it was very stressful because all businesses were closed down and I was a relatively new business owner. And I went up to the mountains in my cabin with my girlfriends, and it just took me so long to relax fully, to decompress. I felt like a balloon just releasing this air, the steam, whatever you want to call it, the stress, and to really meditate. That's something I do often, is just sit in silence, whatever you want to call it, prayer, meditation, just quieting all the noise, all the distractions, and to just close my eyes. And I feel like that year I really, really went deep into my heart, into my soul. And as cheesy as this sounds, I found my worthiness. I found my worth. I shedded some light on the shame, those deep, dark places in me that I didn't want to face. But if you don't face your shame, or if you don't have language to call it out, then it will keep a hold of you and it'll control you. And whatever language you want to use for that, I like to think of it like a demon holding on to you. It's just a negative vibration, a negative entity. It's energy. It's energy, and however you want to see that, whatever makes sense to you. But I shed a lot of light on my shame in 2020, and those things that were making me feel unwhole. And that was a huge year. When you shed light on that, those relationships that you had before, you can now see more clearly. And it couldn't be more clear, because I was holding on to relationships that thrived on my shame, and it was eating me alive. It was holding me down. It wasn't allowing me to fulfill my purpose, to see my full potential. When you have people very close to you that don't want to see you thrive and succeed, and try to pull you down, the best thing for me was to cut those ties. And you know how they say you are like the five closest people to you, you are like them. It's so true. So I look back and I learned a lot. I learned many lessons on who I should let in close to me. And of course I've repeated the same mistake over and over, especially when it's a habit for some reason. Until you're attracting something different, you're gonna continue to attract the same, if that makes sense. But yeah, that year I discovered the secret weapon to like fixing my anxiety ultimately, and that was through exercise and through movement, through moving my body, realizing that these feelings, you'll never get away from the hard feelings. Life is 50-50 as far as those feelings go. If I could bottle up joy and open it up and drink joy every day, all day, I would. But reality is you're gonna have to deal with hard things, and the best thing to do is to ride that wave, feel the feelings. Don't just try to numb the feelings, and realize that they're going to pass. So that was huge. That was very empowering for me. And I think having that lesson early on in business was so important, because being a business owner, being in leadership, I have to deal with hard shit all day, every day. It's like one thing comes at me and then another, and I have to be able to remain calm. I've definitely had my moments of, being a human and letting out emotions and throwing my own temper tantrums, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, but as far as being in leadership, that's something else. A huge lesson I've had to learn was that I have to stand my ground. The hard feelings don't last. We all move on. Everybody moves forward and moves on, and there's always a silver lining. There's always a blessing in each lesson, and you may not see it in the moment, but whenever I look back in retrospect, I can see things more clearly. So yeah, life is a roller coaster. There's constant ups and downs, ebbs and flows, and I feel like the more you can just flow with it, and accept that you're gonna have bad feelings daily, and you don't let it ruin your whole day, but you just try to accept, surrender to those feelings. It builds resiliency. It's very empowering, and that's something over the last 7 years now that I've been doing this whole business thing, that I've built a lot of, is this thick skin, rolling with the punches, accepting that not everyone may like me every single day, and that's okay, because if I were expecting everybody to like me every single day, my anxiety would probably come back, because yeah, that's definitely not happening. But come on. Oh my goodness, these chihuahuas. I'm walking them. Let's see. Come on. They're all twisted up. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. A little bit more about me, just getting raw, vulnerable. I realize that I may not be in the studio teaching Pilates classes daily, but I have an amazing team, amazing group of women that work with me and at the studio, and I just think it's important to communicate and let you guys get to know me a little bit better. So yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your walk, whatever you're doing today. Just meditate on that the feelings don't last. Feelings are also not fact. That's an important one too. Your feelings are not fact. So that's something I've been trying to remind myself. And yeah, have a good day.